to cry and whine and be mad that all these companies now can't push us over white people, you've lost your mind.
So to those who think being a DEI hire means that the person is unqualified, let me tell y'all a story. So one time I actually got a promotion because I was a black dude. And of course they don't never tell you this, but I'm not an idiot and I figured it out. So they called me in the office, they gave me the promotion or whatever. I was happy, called my family, told people, that kind of thing. And then like a couple of days later, the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, they came into this business interviewing people. And they pulled me aside and they asked me one question. They asked me what my position was at the company. I told them I was a this, but now I just got promoted to a this. And when I told them that, they packed up their stuff and they left. Now at this company, there was probably about 80 people that worked there. And of the 80 people that worked there, there were 2 people with a college degree. There was one of my bosses, who actually is a close friend to this day, and me. So I was given this promotion, and the part of the job that I was in control of became extremely efficient. So efficient, in fact, that my team ended up getting raises after like a couple of months. Because of the policies that I implemented, labor cost was way, way down. The cost of products being destroyed was way, way down. It also was way cleaner than what it was before. But to this day, I am convinced the only reason I was given that promotion is because they knew the EEOC was coming and they had to do something. Now, at the time, I didn't know that, but after digging into it a little bit, I figured it out. But y'all think that being DEI means you're not qualified. It means there is a better person for the job, but they only gave it to you because you're a black guy or whatever group that you're in. What you're not understanding is sometimes you should get that opportunity, but they don't because you are in one of those groups. And DEI means they're not allowed to discriminate because you're in one of those groups. When I got my promotion, that's something I should have got way, way sooner, and there was not a better person for that job than me. Y'all get this vision in your head that companies are hiring somebody way, 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 way worse because they fit in one of these minority groups. And what it actually means is now these companies can't throw away an application because the lady's name is Shaniqua or the guy's name is Jose. These minorities are not underachieving and suddenly they're getting all these achievements and bonuses, raises and stuff. It simply doesn't work that way. In general, there aren't minorities out there that feel like they're deserving of things they have not worked for or earned. So please don't be brainwashed by the idea that DEI means not as qualified. Because all it means is you can't ignore me because I'm not the color as most of the people in the country.
Which is why DEI efforts focus on inclusivity, really helping other people understand how to work with other people that are not like them. Because I just questioned to this guy, you really don't think black people are fired because they're black? Not hired because they're black? Not treated a certain way in the workplace because they're black? You really don't believe this? And if you don't...
Next tonight, 3 managers at a Lowe's store in Virginia are out of a job tonight, fired after calling back one of their drivers out on a delivery. The customer the driver was on the way to see allegedly wanted only a white person to make the delivery. Here's ABC's Mars Gavelcampo.
Home improvement retailer Lowe's has apologized after a veteran employee was pulled from a delivery job because he's black.
And I got a phone call on the phone telling me to bring the delivery back, saying that I couldn't do the delivery.
Danville, Virginia driver Marcus Bradley saying he was told the customer didn't want a black man in the house. Shockingly, the store honored the request.
I mean, I thought that Lowe's would take up for me.
So who did take up for him? His fellow driver of 11 years, refusing to complete the delivery with a new white partner.
To me, it just ain't right for a business that we work at to go on with the woman's wishes.
In a statement, Lowe's says, "We have zero tolerance for behavior of that kind. We have apologized." But one person who is not sorry, the homeowner, as she told ABC affiliate station WSET.
Do you feel bad about the delivery driver?
No, I don't feel bad about nothing.
In their statement, Lowe's also says that an executive traveled to Virginia to personally apologize to Bradley. David.
And Literally, the only thing that's happening is this whole artificial push of black this, black that, that's coming to an end. I'm sorry, it is. All these department heads and leads of, it's literally racism. It's literally racism. We need more blacks. Where's my blacks at? I need my brown people. I need my Mexicans. I need this, I need that. I just want to be recognized as a person. I really do.
Listen, I have no hate to this guy, but he has a viewpoint that I just don't agree with, and I think it's an uneducated viewpoint and a viewpoint that comes from having less experience in this world. And I know my viewpoint may change later on, and that's why I try not to get upset and super emotional about the politics, because people's politics can change, how people think can change. I think just understanding more about things, living through some things, helps you view things differently. So I would hope that he does become more educated on what DEI programs actually do help. And do I think that there's harm with DEI programs? Yes. And I think it's particularly the fact of this video, the fact that DEI is seen as being me, like a black woman, that's DEI, or just being black. That's incorrect. And if that means we got to switch out the names, like, you know, Obamacare versus Affordable Care Act, and we just switch up the name and do the same things, fine. Because the fact that people can't see past black when it comes to inclusive practices, that's really what it is. Take out diversity, take out equity, take out inclusion, just say inclusive practices. You can call it merit-based practices. It doesn't matter the name. What matters is that history has told us and current state tells us that discrimination is happening. People that are qualified, and even the most qualified, are not getting jobs. And people that aren't the most qualified are getting jobs, actually because of who they know a lot of the times, or just because they're similar to the person that's hiring, which is most often just due to the amount of white men that do create large businesses and jobs. I realize that. They're hiring people like themselves. Is that wrong in itself? That, you know, if I own a company, I'm going to hire my friends, I'm going to hire, you know, my family, and I'm going to grow it, and then those people are going to look the same, and they hire the same, and they hire the same. It's not bad in itself, but actually the companies benefit the most from inclusive practices because they can understand better their customers, their marketplaces, the people that they're actually selling to. Companies get large profits from a lot of these programs. Do they invest into these programs? Yes, but there's a reason for it. It's shown again and again that profits increase when you're able to understand your communities, when you're able to hire people of different backgrounds. Creativity increases. There's so many studies on this, but if it's really just changing the name, like Obamacare versus Affordable Care Act to DEI to merit-based, fine. But I don't think that's really what's happening. The issues with DEI is really just the fact that people see it as just benefiting Black people, and they don't understand that it in fact benefits people in your own community, maybe even yourself. And also, people with this type of thinking are fine with seeing a white person benefit just from being white, but a Black person benefiting just from being Black is harmful, even though it's the same practice. Anywho, this is a really deep conversation. I'm probably going to have to break up this video.
I want them to be looked at as someone who's qualified for the job. That's what I aspire for Black people in this country and Black people in America. I don't want you to pity me. I don't want you to look at me below me. That's what frustrates me about this whole, giving all Black people all these different things and the white liberals that stand behind it. These white liberals. Let me tell you, some of the most racist people I've ever encountered in my life. Well, Amir, I just feel so sorry that you're Black and I wish I could help you out. What kind of shit is that?
Okay, 1040. I agree somewhat. Now, not all white liberals are racist, but I think it's very is to say that every white liberal is not racist. and that conservatives are racist. I don't agree with that. You just have to kind of show me who you are as a person. I don't think that all conservative white people are racist. I don't think that all white liberals are not racist. In fact, many of them, the racism just can look differently. And I do agree with what he's getting into. And maybe that is the real crux of what he's talking about, is this feeling that white people think that Black people are needing these DEI programs to get hired because they're not as good. And that's just not the case. The reason Black people do support DEI programs is because Black people have, in the time of living in the United States and working, likely have felt or experienced some type of discrimination, whether that was in hiring, whether that was in the workplace, whether that was just ending, with a company seeing others that are not Black do all manner of things, and people look the other way. You do that one thing, you do a mess up, oops, because everyone messes up at some point in their job, regardless of if you're the best of the best, because that's the whole point. You're going to do something, you're going to push the boundary, you're going to do something you don't have experience with, and you're going to make some type of mistake. Anywho, oops, I made a mistake, you're out. But Cindy over there made like 15 mistakes just in one day. She's good. We like her. So it could be all manner of things, but in some way we've likely experienced it.
You're sorry for me that I'm brown. You're sorry for me that I'm Black and I live in America. I'm sorry. I'm not going through anything that my ancestors went through. I'm really not. I'm not being hosed down by a water hose. I'm not being bit by a dog. I'm not being whipped by massa. I'm not being sold, enslaved. None of that is happening. I'm afforded so many blessings, and so every Black person in America is right now. And to sit here and act like we're not, to cry baby.
Okay, 11:05. Yes, I think that there is a privilege being born in the United States. I can definitely see that there are people trying to get here, right? So that they can make a better life for themselves. I do agree that there are some Black people that don't take the full benefits, just like there are many white Americans that don't take the full benefits of living in this country. It's not just a Black thing. Like, I don't understand why Black people are looked at so heavily. Maybe because of what we've experienced. So you would think that we would be the ones to really, every single Black person is going to take full advantage of living in this country. No, people get stagnant all the time. It's a mental thing, right? But I can somewhat agree that some of the limiting beliefs that are pushed onto Black people tend to come more from the liberal angle. And I actually think it's more pushed onto Black men in more of this, like, you need to be coddled to be able to do anything. Oh, you can't do this. We got to help you for you to be able to do it. So I could see that, because I think that that particular group of people can be very strong and could do marvelous things if the mentality was different. That's going to be for another video.
To cry and whine and be mad that all these companies now can't push us over white people, you've lost your mind. You really have. Let us be equal. Let us do our thing and go about our day. But all the Black folk right now that are so upset, so up in arms that DEI initiatives are being rolled back and that Donald Trump's a racist if this is happening, you're not going to be fired because you're a brown person. You're not going to be sold to slavery. You're not going to be whipped. You don't own massa anything. You're fine.
News correspondent covering national security and the military, Courtney Kuby. This is your reporting, Courtney. What happened?
Yeah, with our colleague John Allen, of course. So you have it right, Katie. The way we were told is that the Commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard, the first woman ever to lead a military service branch, she was fired on day 2 of President Trump's administration.
Day 2 of life after getting fired as a DEI coordinator for the Pentagon. Today, I hung out with my 5 best friends who live in the city who I haven't been able to see for a while. They're trans. Then I visited my old stomping grounds, but got too upset with my snowflake tears, so I had to cradle myself into a ball and do 12 positive affirmations, affirming that my gayness is still okayness.